We're here with head coach Pete Ewald of the Franklin Pierce Sprint football team. Franklin Pierce getting ready to load the buses, go down to Princeton, and take on the Tigers on Friday. Coach, we'll talk about Princeton in a second. Just want to go back to last weekend against Army. Wasn't the outcome you guys wanted, wasn't the score you guys wanted, but were there some things now that you've had a couple days to look at the film that you can take away positive? Against a team like that, I mean, they're the defending champs for a reason. Some things that you can take away from that game and maybe move forward into the rest of the season.
Sure. I think one thing that we can take away from that is the ability to elevate our game against a team like Army, who is year in and year out the best team in the league. We have to be able to raise our level of play, and we have to minimize our mistakes, just like in every game. But that game really magnifies how important it is to get better and eliminate mistakes.
We were talking to a couple of the guys on Tuesday, and after practice you were really complimentary of how they performed and how they practiced, the intensity they brought. It's on Thursday now. How have they practiced the last couple of days getting ready for a big game this week with Princeton?
I think Tuesday was a real key for us to come back and, after getting pretty well handled against Army, to come back and have a good practice and be enthusiastic and looking forward to the next game was very important. I think we kind of followed that up Wednesday with a little bit of a lull, and we're looking forward to today and tomorrow.
What type of challenge does a week like this present? Last year you guys beat Princeton. It was your first win in program history. How do you I don't want to say the guys are complacent or thinking they're going to get the win, but how do you kind of get those guys focused and say, hey, last year was last year, this is this year, it's a different Princeton team, you're a different Franklin Pierce team, get them motivated to go down and hopefully extend the winning streak?
No doubt about it, but I think our goal every week is to get better, and I don't care who we're playing, if we're playing Army, Navy, Penn, Princeton, Cornell, whoever. Our goal is to get better every week, and Princeton is another game on our schedule that we need to get better for the week and for the opponent.
Defensively this year, you guys threw 3 games. I know Army was a rough one on Saturday, but the defense has really been the backbone of this team. Just talk about how they've kept progressing. And Nick Trokalakis gets switched from O-line to D-line against Army and ends up with 8 tackles and 2 sacks and 3 tackles for loss. He had an outstanding game. I guess talk about him a little bit, but talk about the unit as a whole as well.
And Nick also had the flu, so I hope Nick's sick again this week. Nick had a great game for us, and I think he provides some leadership and even a more spark on the defensive line, and he did a great job. Our defense, I think last week maybe slipped a little bit, and I think this week is another opportunity for them to make up for what they did last week, and hopefully rally and get to the ball and be physical and be the team that we know they were the first 2 weeks.
Offensively, last week you guys made some plays. I know maybe you didn't finish in certain situations, but against a team like that, a defense like that, you guys were able to make some plays. Just talk about the growth of the offense. It looks like there's some things are really starting to fall into place. Some things are starting to click, and it's going to be really interesting and exciting to see how these final 4 weeks play out with that side of the ball.
Absolutely. I think every week we're getting better, and it's a matter of being cohesive. At the beginning of the season, we didn't know who was playing quarterback. We didn't know who our offensive line was. In the last 3 weeks, we've been pretty consistent in practice, having the same people there, and that adds for continuity and hopefully growth. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of that now.
Just talk about the program from last year to this year. Now, things for you going a little bit smoother now that you kind of know the players a little bit better. They know you a little bit better. They know what to expect. Just talk about how this year hopefully has flowed a little bit smoother than last year's.
It's a little bit smoother. It's still a work in progress because we have so many young guys in our program that we're counting on to play on Saturday. So it's new for them. The older guys in the program have done a good job helping the younger guys in the program, but it's still a work in progress because the older guys are only a year into it. So we're still feeling the effects of being a very young program, and we got to continue to grow, and I think we will. And if we can add another good class for this year coming up to go with the 2 classes that we've had so far, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape.
All right, that's Coach Peter Ewald of the Franklin Pierce Sprint football team. Coach, good luck. Travel safe down to Princeton. We'll talk with you next week.
Thanks, Doug.